My name is Cole. I'm 25 from Virginia. My sobriety date is June 21st, 2018. And I've struggled with addiction for about 10 years now, 10, 11 years. Growing up, I had a great childhood, pretty picture perfect childhood growing up. Loving mother, loving father, and as much as me and my sister fought, a loving sister also. In my childhood, I played a lot of sports. Something else that I really enjoyed doing was hunting and fishing with my dad. That was a big part of my life, and I got to spend a lot of quality time with my dad. I took my first drink when I was about 12. Nothing crazy happened. That was just when I remember taking my first drink. When it really started to pick up was, friends that I had developed over the years. In about 8th grade, we started experimenting with alcohol and marijuana. Started off really harmless. Looking back, it quickly took over every single weekend. I found myself drinking with my friends. It became an every weekend thing. That was the thing to do. And as time goes on, I move into high school. The party scene becomes bigger. Start hanging out with different people, partying even more. And I quickly found myself by sophomore year experimenting with prescription painkillers. And that is when my life really started to take a turn for the worse. Prescription painkillers quickly took over my life. Relationships and friendships started to deteriorate, and so did my mental health at the same time. Slowly, depression started to set in. The only thing I cared about was the drug. And by the end of my junior year, I had completely lost interest in sports. I stopped playing sports. Hunting and fishing took a back burner. Friends and family. I didn't have many friends. I had a lot of acquaintances, but not many friends. And the drugs had completely taken over my life at this point. Few legal consequences that had taken place because of the drugs and alcohol. And I hadn't really started to pick up on the way these things were affecting my life yet. But moving into college, I wasn't able to sustain my habit as well as I was in high school. It got much worse. I needed more. I needed it every day. And I quickly found that I started having to lie, steal, cheat, do things that I never thought I would have to do just in order to stay well and function like a normal person would. By my junior year of college, I had flunked out. I had failed, and that's when I found myself wanting to go to treatment, which was in 2015. It's when I first came down to Florida. That's when my journey started. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. All I knew is that I wanted to be better. I wanted to be healthy. I wanted to be the person that I once was. And I'd love to say when I first came down here, everything was perfect, and I stayed sober the whole time, but that's not the reality. The reality was that I had a lot more to learn. So when I first came down to Florida, I stayed sober for a couple months. I'd learned a lot, I'd done a lot, but quickly found myself using again, and in a bad situation again. And this went on for a couple years. I found myself in multiple treatment centers, multiple detoxes. And this last time around, it was a Thursday, June 21st. I texted my friend Chris Cook, and just 2 words. I told him I'm done. And that's when I went to this treatment center called Reprieve. I'd been here before. Hadn't really taken it seriously though. But this time I was ready to make a change again. I had that desire, that willingness to to make a change. And Reprieve really offered a solid foreground for my recovery. A big thing about Reprieve that I always notice is that the people that worked here and the people that were helping me, from the therapist to the staff, this wasn't just their job. This was something that they had chosen. Like, this is what they want to do. They want to help people, and you can always tell a difference from the people in the industry that are doing this because they love it and they want to help people, compared to just their job. The one thing that I am most grateful for, about Reprieve is the amount of accountability that they hold you to, and that the community itself holds you to. Early in sobriety, that's very important. And one thing they were always hard on was, where was I in my 12-step work? Every single week we had meetings and we would talk about these things. Where was I in my 12-step work? How did I talk to my sponsor? How was I progressing? And it really held me accountable in a sense that I could also see my progress and where I was making progress and where I did need to work on. Reprieve gave me a solid foundation to transition back into life, and now I'm a productive member of society. I have a full-time job. I'm able to travel for work and just experience life the way that I always wanted to. I get to help other people every single day, and really make a change in other people's lives also. So if you're struggling too, give yourself a chance. Reach out. Somebody wants to help.